sometimes. What were you saying, Buzz?
Yeah, so who were the people that paid $50,000 for a bloody robot?
Oh, not anyone I know personally. Someone that Jan knows.
My God, you won't be keen.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh, obviously there was plenty of good hype around it, and proof of working or something like that. I guess I don't know too much about it really.
Yeah, but that robot of yours, it works a treat.
I have to put the price up, eh?
Yeah, 50 grand, you know.
No, 49. I'll undercut the competition.
Yeah, you're not going to be too greedy. Oh, Diane should buy it. Oh,
How are you, Di?
Good, thank you.
Good to
You
hear.
think I'd buy it? 50 grand?
No,
Oof, not so
49.
Oof, I'm not so sure, Barry. No way. Whoa.
hey, Diane, have you put your toe in the water yet?
No, I haven't done just yet. It's not that I'm not wanting to, but I'm a bit snowed under at the minute over here. So I will. I will. I've given my assurances to Les that I will. But I'm going to do some training first, I think. I want to be a good manual trader. That's what really fires me up.
God, I just like the robot, go to bed and don't worry about it.
I will do it. I will go for the robot. I like EAs, and I definitely think what Les has done is amazing. So I think it's great to have a proper person, a trader who understands trading. Coding for us is amazing. So I'll definitely will.
A real person, not just somebody that puts up a dodgy profile picture and you don't know who they are.
Yeah. And also some of those companies we belong to, Les, they haven't been real traders. They're just network marketers that have come across a product.
The vast, I mean, there's obviously good EAs out there, but the vast majority, and I'm talking like 90, I don't know, I'm making this figure up, but probably 90-odd% of the EAs that are available out there aren't incredibly complex pieces of coding. Most good traders aren't coders. So I know one really good trader, and he was always intending on getting somebody to code up his strategy for him, which I've started doing, which is there's quite a few of the features that are in his strategy that have gone into Volatility Master as well, but that's besides the point. He's sort of lost. He's doing a few other things now at the moment, but anyway, I'm getting off the point. He's a very successful trader. He's got a nice, precise strategy. Admittedly, it is a pretty complex strategy to actually bring into code, but he's had some people that I would have to assume are more knowledgeable than me on the coding side of things, trying to create it for them, and they just haven't been able to even come close, And the problem there is that if you're a good trader but not a coder, it's very hard to explain exactly what you want a coder to create. And if they don't really understand trading as well, the fact is that didn't work out. They gave that away. And then you've got coders that don't know and this is probably the majority of EAs probably come from people with some coding knowledge but very little trading knowledge, and they create something, that trades, but it's pretty simple coding. And I'm talking about most of the EAs we've bought from various companies before. And when I first, just a little bit of a backstory, when I first started coding, I didn't really expect to be able to create what I've created now. But what I did initially was jump on good old Google and YouTube, University of Google and YouTube, and there's quite a lot of videos there of people coding EAs, and they'll code an EA that does this and code an EA that does that, and they'll share the exact code. And how I started was I simply copied their code and sort of a little bit of a funny story, I guess. But even though their code was right there, all I had to do was type it in exactly the same. When I did that and I compiled the code, it come up with like 189 errors. And then I had to work my way through trying to work out where the issues were. They're just typing issues, but it took a long time until actually code that I literally just had to copy from their computer to mine. Took quite a while before I actually got it to compile and work properly. That's another side story, and I'm off the track again. But my point was meant to be that you can go on YouTube and copy some code off a free YouTube video that will give you an EA that will, work. By work, I don't mean make you profit, but work and take trades and manage trades and all of that. And that's what I did to start with. I copied that code, I played with it till I got rid of all the errors and it made it work. And then, then I added different code to add new features and more criteria to allow it to take more precise entries and everything. And that's really just what I've continued to do until it got better and better. And over time, of course, I started realizing what was causing the errors. And whenever I do have errors, it's a lot easier to troubleshoot and find out where the problem is and fix it compared to how it was anyway. But so, and some, I keep getting sidetracked here, but it's all sort of the same point. A lot of EAs, or I don't want to name EAs here because I'm recording it, but EAs that I've purchased previously or paid a monthly subscription on that worked out considerably more expensive than Volatility Master anyway. It's probably going back about 7 or 8 months ago. So I've been coding for about 2 years, just not quite. And I've been getting better and better the whole time. But so I'm going back 7 or 8 months ago, so not quite as knowledgeable on coding as I am now. But I created one of those EAs, one of the ones that you've used before, Diane, one of the more original ones that we used when we first got into trading. And it took me about 8 hours to create that precise code that did precisely what that EA did. And you know what I'm talking about, but not naming names. And this is an EA that was getting marketed really, really big time. People were paying roughly around about $1,500 a year for this EA. It was via a monthly subscription though. And, it worked good enough for people to be able to market it and sell it and make money from doing that. But it didn't work good enough for somebody to use it long term and continue to make consistent profit. And that's the big difference. Having something that can work and look good for a month or two is easy. Having something that's going to be long term is another ball game. And finding an EA that can allow you to make consistent profit with low drawdown over a longer period of time is exceedingly rare. So it doesn't matter. The profit doesn't matter. I mean, the profit does matter, but as far as finding a good trading strategy goes, how much profit it makes really doesn't matter. If you could find an EA or a trading strategy that you could consistently make 5% a month off, that would be enough for you to change your finances significantly. It's just a matter of increasing your account balance or trading more aggressively, really. It's just a matter of having something that's consistent enough that you can have enough belief in to allow it to trade a large enough account balance. You're not going to throw a couple of $100,000 at an EA, like allow an EA to trade a couple of $100,000 of your own money, unless you were confident in how it worked. I mean, these days it's a little easier because you can always use prop firms and that and not really risk your own money so much. But, it's a matter of being consistent, just because an EA probably, and this is probably one of the reasons I haven't really marketed Volatility Master seriously, is because I could go into Facebook now, and within 15 minutes of scrolling, I could find at least 5 companies selling EAs that are promising me at least 50% profit a week, right up to about 300% a week is about the best one I've seen so far. So, and that obviously for you guys on here, you know that that's just ridiculous. But for me to try and market an EA and say it's only going to make 5 to 10% profit a month, it can't compete with that exaggerated marketing really. Although any decent trader would sort of know that even 5% a month, if it's consistent and regular and low drawdown and therefore safe, is something definitely worth having. And that just doesn't go with EAs and trading. You jump online and everything's exaggerated, and if not just downright lies, but you get that. How are you anyway, Lee?
Hi, Les. I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks.
I'm sorry, I just jumped on and the kids were distracting me just as I jumped on, and I was had to shoo them out the room. I was hoping I was on mute.
Yeah, no, we didn't hear any of that, but that's all
Oh,
good. Even if we had have heard it, that's fine. I'm sure people have heard me yell at my kids quite often on Zoom. Usually I remember to mute myself, but probably not always.
Yeah, I had to quickly check just to make sure, because I was just like, I just want 5 minutes. Like, just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, if it's not my kids, it's my dog barking. Find something to bark whenever Zoom's on.
It'll be mine too. I have 15 of them, so I get that.
15 of them?
Yeah, I
Kids
do.
or dogs?
No, dogs. I breed and show English Cocker Spaniels.
Oh, yeah. I was just having a look at the dog in your picture there. It does look like a Cocker Spaniel, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just sort of got on because I saw your thing on Zoom, and I just asked, and I wanted to ask, what your results were for the forward? Do you have any forward testing results at all yet?
Forward testing.
Yeah, like where you're up to from, rather than back testing.
So like real life results.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Not any really long-term results, because it's probably just the last sort of 2 months, maybe 2.5 months since Volatility Master went through a rather big change and really big improvement.
Yeah.
But there's definitely results. If you have a look on the Facebook page or the Telegram channel, you'll see plenty of those results. Mostly winning weeks, but not always winning weeks. We've had a couple of losing weeks, but still definitely ahead. We had sort of depends, obviously. Generally I'm running 1% or less risk per trade.
Yeah.
Particularly if it's a prop account. But we had one night last week where usually when I start somebody off, I'm just setting them up just to trade the US 30 open. So
Yes.
just a 3-hour window after the open, just because it's the easiest, sort of probably almost the most consistent as well. You don't have to worry about red folders getting in the way. It happens the same day, same time every day, 5 nights a week. So it's something that people can basically just set up and forget.
Well, that's true.
I think it was Thursday night, everyone sort of made about 4% profit for the night.
Oh,
so,
awesome. Wow.
And then we lost 1.5% Friday night, just to give you the full details. But
yeah.
But on the prop accounts, I guess I'm sort of been averaging I don't know, 1 to 3% profit a week, I suppose, but 1 to 2% on average, I guess. There has
1 to 3. So what is it to pass a prop account? It's like 8% normally around that, isn't it?
Yeah, 8 to 10, 8 or usually either 8 or 10%, and then a second phase of 5% is usually the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I say there's been losing weeks as well, but most of the time it's really hard to give any sort of guarantees or even averages, but because everyone trades it a bit differently. But for me, 1 to 2% profit is probably where the majority of weeks would fall.
Yeah.
There's some weeks that are close to break even. The worst losing week I had was about 1.5% loss. There has been, some weeks that are up over 3% profit. There's been like a couple of days in a row where there was 3 or 4% for the night, but then some losses as well. So that brought their weekly average down. I haven't had a losing month yet, just some losing weeks.
So if you had like if you were lucky enough to make say 4% in one night or something like that, like Thursday, would you just switch it off and then wait for the next week, or?
No, not for the week, not for the week. But what we've got set up on Volatility Master is some daily, like you can have like a daily goal and a daily equity protection type thing, and that can be per pair as well if you're trading multiple different pairs. So usually, like on US 30, if I was risking 1% per trade, I'll have the equity protection for the day set at 2.2%.
Yeah.
But then I would have the actual profit set at about 6%. So we might have or might be 5%, I think. But so a good night you'll make 5%. On a bad night you'll lose 2.2.
Yeah, fair enough.
Good risk to reward per trade, but also between the best days and the worst nights. So good risk to reward that way as well.
Yeah. And how do you find it on gold?
Gold's one of my favorites as well. And a lot of the back testing that you will have seen me share is on gold. And I probably get slightly more consistent results on US 30, but I don't actually have uninterrupted 6 months or more worth of historical data to back test on US 30. So I've mostly been using gold.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you saw that post, that was probably the back testing I did today. I did a full year's worth of back testing on gold. And there weren't any losing months. There was that was risking 3% per trade day, but there was a 1 month that was about 2.5% profit, and another one that was about 1.5% profit, but the rest were significantly better than that.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, it's been going really good. And the big difference in the last 2.5 months has been the consistency of it and the fact that, basically everybody using it is getting consistently profitable results, even if maybe it's not a huge profit, is consistently profitable. And in the real world of trading, not the exaggerated world of trading, if you can consistently make a small profit and if you do have a losing week, it's only a small loss, you are already above the curve,
Yeah, true. That's true. Absolutely.
When I say basically everybody's making profit, there's always seems to be somebody new that starts that doesn't have things set up and running smoothly. So it'll take a while to just sort of work out exactly what they're doing wrong. A lot of people tend to change a couple of settings. Like, I don't know whether this guy will be watching this video now that I'm recording it or not, but for example, I had somebody that was having a hard time making profit when everyone else was. And so I got him to show me what sort of settings he was using, and I told him a couple that were different to what everyone else was using. And he was sort of like, but is that going to really make any difference to the results? And I tried not to laugh, if you know what I mean. But obviously, all of the settings will make a difference. Even things like your daily goal and your equity protection settings, the ratio between them. If you change the ratio between them, that's going to change your long-term average as well, because I've back tested and used in real time. those settings for that specific reason. That
Yeah.
like I've got for and just for people, you guys, but anyone watching this as well, like January this year, because I've done a lot of back testing on gold, and January of this year was like the most phenomenal month. On the settings I'm using, it makes about 41.2% about. Yeah, I know exactly. 41.2% profit for January. That's on 3% risk per trade. And that's on the settings that I'm using. But if I change those settings, I can make the software make over 80% for January. But if I use those settings for the whole year, it doesn't work out as good as the settings I'm using, which only gave me 40% profit for the month. So
Yeah.
just because settings work really good for 1 month doesn't mean it will consistently be the best settings for every month. So you need to always back test for at least 6 months to come up with settings to use, because that gives you a decent long-term average. So just because settings work really good 1 month doesn't mean that's necessarily the best settings long-term.
Makes sense. You got to have the best average.
Exactly, yeah. There's no point making 40% this month and losing 10 next month. You might as well just, average 10 all the time. You end up ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, then you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I think probably, I know Barry will agree, but probably most people would agree, like people that have used other EAs a fair bit. I've got lots of best features. I like the software, it's fine, so why wouldn't I? But one of the best features is simply that you can really minimize and completely control the amount of drawdown and loss you ever get. So it's you don't have to put in a lot size that you're going to use. You just put in how much of your account balance you want to risk per trade. And so this software.
Oh, that's good. Makes it easy.
Yeah, exactly. So and that also allows it to automatically compound as well. So as your account balance grows, you don't have to change any settings because the targets and the lot sizes are going to automatically increase, in relation to everything else. So, and that's the whole idea behind that. But this is another extremely rare feature that I've probably only ever seen in one other EA, and I don't think it was as good doing it as well as what Volatility Master does. As I said, I am biased, and that's actually use proper market structure to dictate how it trades. So this Volatility Master will always place the stop loss just below the most recent market structure. I'm sure you know what I mean. So if
Yeah,
the
no,
market,
I do.
yeah, not necessarily support, but market structure, wherever if it was a buy order, the stop loss is always going to go below the most recent low point.
Yeah.
It doesn't just, and most EAs will just put, there'll be a setting you can change, but it will just always put the stop loss at 100 pips or 100 points or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it might put it 50 pips, it might put it 150. It'll be all dependent on market structure. And then it will automatically calculate the lot size so that you're risking that 1% or whatever you use of your account per trade. So if you've got the software set to trade a 1% risk, that means that you'll never ever get into more than 1% of actual drawdown. And like with the US 30 Open, 1% risk per trade, but I have my equity protection for the day set at 2.2. So worst case scenario, you could wake up in the morning and you've lost 2.2% of your account balance, or whatever your settings may be, you may reduce that even more. So like the vast majority of EAs, I think I've said vast majority a bit too much tonight, but most EAs, particularly those that get marketed, I don't have anything at all against network marketing. I love it. but most network marketing companies that are marketing an EA are some form of grid or martingale strategy.
Yeah.
Simply because that can work well for 2 or 3 months and then you lose all your money. But
Yeah.
that 2 or 3 months is enough time to market it and make a good profit from the sales of it all. And I keep having too many thoughts in my head and forgotten where I'm up to. But with a martingale or grid type strategy, it can all run really, really smoothly for a while. And then you could literally wake up the next morning, everything's running good. You wake up the next morning and you're in 20 or 30% or even more drawdown. That's
Yeah.
something everyone on this call's probably experienced from such an EA. And
Yep.
you know, that's something that can happen. So I know myself, and I know Diane will be nodding as well, is that even when we had EAs like that and you know, we were doing our best and we were making money most of the time, you know, we would still wake up in the morning and the first thing we did, and we did it with a little bit of trepidation, was check our account to see if we're in too much drawdown, see if things are going to shit while we're asleep.
Yeah.
For me, the idea of an EA is obviously to automate things, free up your time as well and all of that, but also to take the stress out of trading. I mean, there's enough stress in our lives. We don't want something that's going to be causing more stress, and nothing causes stress like money, or the loss of it. But you know, so that sort of issue is something you simply can't get with Volatility Master, because worst case scenario, you wake up in the morning, let's say you've got $1,000 trading account and you've got it set at a 1% risk and 2.2 equity protection. The very worst case scenario is that you wake up in the morning and you've lost $22. Now,
Yeah.
that's not going to cause too much stress to anybody, you know?
That's true.
Les, can I just butt in here? Now, look, I've known Les for a good number of years. So from when the first coding started, it was pretty bloody average, wasn't it?
Say that again?
But where we are at now, it's nothing short of bloody brilliant. So I've opened up I've got 2 prop firms accounts and 1 personal.
Yeah, Barry's all excited because he opened up a second prop account. We put Volatility Master on it today. So
yeah.
Awesome.
To make it work, you can only make it work if you can put the toe in the water and say, bugger it, I'm going to do it. Now, a lot of people are scared that they might lose $10, $20, $30, or whatever the figure may be. I've got 2 $100,000 accounts with Les and 1 $5,000 account with Les. So I've got a lot of confidence in Les. Like, you know, he's miles ahead of anything that's out there. But, you know, the big thing is just to put your toe in the water, make it work. You can sit there and think about it, and I'm just going to open up an account every fortnight. Simple.
he wants his $1 million worth of prop accounts ASAP.
I like that strategy.
Yeah.
Good for you, Barry. Good for you.
Pardon?
Good for you, Barry. I'm impressed.
Well, I do believe in Les. Like, I do. Like, you know, he's just not a bloody fisherman. He's pretty bloody clever. Like, you know, I can hardly spell cat and rat. So what he's done is nothing short of bloody brilliant.
I think one of the benefits, because you know, I'm not a huge company or anything, is that, but you know, anybody that sends me a message or asks a question about the software, you know, that'll get answered, you know, like straight away. There's no outsourced support needed or anything like that. You can jump on a Zoom anytime and have one-on-one support and really go through exactly what's working and what's not. That's just something that you don't really get anywhere else.
Well, absolutely impossible. Like, you're talking to probably like, some of these crop farm companies, probably one of the best to get in contact with would have to be Concept, because you're talking to an Aussie on the other end. But if you're wanting to talk to FTMO or Funded Next, well, you won't get on the phone, but you can with Concept.
That was good about Concept, but that's just the proper count, nothing really to do with EAs. But anyway, good.
You won't go broke just opening up prop firms. That's my opinion. Like, it's simple bloody business. Like, if you got $1 million, if I've got Susie with $1 million on her account and $1 million on my account, you're talking 2 million.
A week ago, I only wanted 1 million, but
he's doubling it now.
no, I'm not going to knock anyone for being greedy, but
it's there to be made. You've just really got to step up to the plate and do it, I suppose. Like, you can hover around as much as you like. Like, oh, I'm just a busted ass grader operator, but I get a lot of pleasure out of this. I do.
making money is fun.
Yeah, Barry. Are you still on the challenge and verification stage, or are you funded now?
Not yet. Like I said to Les, we're going to open one a fortnight. We're $1,000 in front. That's enough.
It's hard work trying to hold Barry back, but what I've sort of suggested, which I think is a good strategy for most people really, is it doesn't matter whether it's an EA or a manual strategy, whatever you're doing trading wise, though. A demo account's obviously a good thing just to make sure it's running smoothly. But when you start on a live account, just with a small amount, and use the EA or the strategy for 2 weeks, and if you're in profit, add some more funds, and then trade for another 2 weeks. If you're in profit, add some more funds. If you're not in profit, don't add any more. And that way you're only risking more of your money as the software, the strategy starts to prove itself more long term. So whenever it's going good, you can add more. But otherwise you fall into the trap of trying to make too much money too fast. Somebody will tell you how good they've done or how good the CA is, and you trust them and you believe them, or you don't trust them but you still believe them. And so you throw a lot of money at it straight away, and then if it doesn't work, you lose more than you really wanted to.
But Les, talking about that, like, I've known you for a long time, and I don't believe in demo accounts because I know what you're doing is the right thing.
Oh, that's all right. We know each other and we've been around for a while together, but I wouldn't expect somebody I didn't know to just blindly believe that it was going to work. And I tell everybody, put it on a demo account for 2 reasons. One, to work the bugs out, to make sure you got it working properly and smoothly. And 2, to prove to yourself that it actually works. Because, I can't really think of anyone that I'd just believe that, if they said this EA works, I wouldn't just believe them. I'd want to see proof, and even then I wouldn't be sure. I'd want to test it myself to sort of prove it to myself. Because here's another thing, I'll pick on the competition on other EAs and that, but quite often you'll see, all right, so if somebody won't show proof of trading, you want to ask why, because showing proof of trading is the easiest thing in the world. Every platform stores the history. You can connect up to MyFX book. So proving that, the trading history is the easiest thing in the world. So, I mean, there's a lot of, that scams out there that like MLMs and everything as well, that are promising that they're doing trading, and they'll keep promising trading results, but they never actually get around to showing it. So that's one thing. But also, when people do show trading proof, it's still not necessarily overwhelmingly it might not be true, but it might not be showing you the whole picture. For example, you might have a company promoting an EA, and they'll show, 2 or 3 years worth of trading history. That's all really good results. Like they might show my FX books to prove the trading history and all of that. But you don't know what's really going on that account. You don't know that it was that EA the whole time. And even if it was, those results are probably coming from the developer of the software and with a little bit of manual oversight. So you might have a skilled trader that developed the software and has let it play out, and not just let it play out, but had a little bit of manual oversight along the way to make sure the results are good. And that's good for marketing their software. But if somebody comes along and even if they use the recommended settings and all that, put it onto their trading account, they're not going to replicate those results simply because, the developer of the software, obviously, I've known this the same with my softwares. I have quite often got better results than other people because I know intimately how it works and how I can tweak it from time to time when conditions change to get better results or to reduce bad results and all of that. So a lot of the results you'll see when it comes to promoting EAs are like that. Yes, that is the EA that did the trading mostly, but there was some manual oversight. That just doesn't mean that you're going to be able to replicate those results. And what I've got going on with Volatility Master now, particularly with the US 30 Open, are set and forget settings that basically, everyone's going to get the same results. You will get slight differences between brokers and everything due to spread and slight different prices and all of that. But essentially, everybody's going to get the same results.
Who do you use as your prop firm, as your prop firm person? Is it
So who do I use?
Yeah.
I've been using Funded Next and FTMO would be my top 2 picks.
Yeah.
Mostly because they are their own broker. They don't need a third-party broker, and they do actually have their own MetaQuotes license, which is extremely rare now. There are some other good brokers as well, which I would use, but they do use some other prop firms that I would use. I haven't yet, but I do intend to. But they aren't. They do sort of rely on a third-party broker for their actual trading. Not that that's. Concept use a third-party broker as well. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but you sort of are at the whim. Like if that other broker changes their rules, which has happened to a lot of prop firms, is a lot of brokers have decided not to have anything to do with prop firms, and that's just to do with pressure from the SEC cracking down on MetaQuotes, the company MetaQuotes themselves, as far as who they let use their platforms.
Yeah, good to know. I was actually thinking I would go with FTMO because apparently they're regulated in Australia now as well, I've heard.
Yeah, that just happened last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I'm not 100% sure of the setup. They are regulated, but I think they're sort of going through a third-party broker for Australia as well, just to tick a few more boxes for Australians.
Yeah.
Not that I care if they're regulated in Australia or not myself personally, but
no, it just gives people that little bit of extra protection, I suppose, if they feel more comfortable knowing with ASIC and all that jazz.
Yeah. Yes.
Can I
yes
just
and no, but I've known so many, and for a long time, every single Ponzi scheme out there was licensed by ASICs.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was there's a difference between being registered with ASICs and having heavy regulations in place. Because all you need to do is open a company and you're registered with ASICs. That doesn't mean you can't do something dodgy.
Yeah, true.
It probably means you can't do something dodgy for too long before you get called out on. But those sort of things don't need to go too long for them to make their money.
Yeah, true.
Liz, can I just make a comment there?
I
With
guess so.
Aztec is not worth the paper it's written on, because it's just an absolutely toothless bloody tiger. That's my opinion of bloody Aztec. Like with my self-managed fund, I've got to pay him. I've got a bill here today. I've got to pay him. But I honestly don't think I should pay him, but I've got it.
Yeah.
But if you do believe in Liz's product, just buy it, put your toe in the water, and go for it. That's my opinion.
Sounds like Barry's after commission here.
You can talk to your blue in the face, and you can go round and round in a big circle, but you won't know until you actually bloody do it. That's my opinion.
Well, that's obviously true, but yeah, each to their own. A lot of people these days are, you go back 3 or 4 years ago, and if somebody presented you with some sort of a money-making opportunity, you jump at it. But these days, everyone's a bit scared.
There's just so many
For
people out
reason.
there that I can tell you just personally, I've spent so much money on EA bots and stuff and lost so much money.
Yeah,
And
not
it's
the only
just
one.
but I've been following you for a while, and yeah, that's hence why I decided that I would jump on tonight, because I've just my computer broke and I had to get a new computer just recently, and I'd been sick for the last month with influenza and hadn't
Yeah,
been able to get out of bed and so hadn't got my computer, so there was no point in buying it until I could actually get a computer to set it up on.
that's true.
I don't think you'll be disappointed, Lee.
No, well, I was just looking at the results of Kevin on Telegram. There's a guy called Kevin, and he seems
Yeah,
to be getting some crazy results.
yeah. He's some of his results are just on a demo account still.
Yeah.
And the crazy results are him risking 3% per trade too, though.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think that you could probably get away with 3% per trade with the prop account. Maybe a
Prop account, no.
yeah, like a small personal account, which is kind of I'm edging towards maybe I'll just do a small personal account and just risk a bit more, because if I blow it, I blow it. It's the same as blowing a prop account.
Yeah, well, Barry was thinking about doubling his. I hope he doesn't mind me telling you, but he was thinking about doubling the account balance of his live account.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, we just put it from 1% risk up to 2% risk.
Is that on the prop account?
No, just on his own.
On his own. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so it's a $5,000 account. Instead of putting another 5,000 in, we just up the risk from 1% to 2%. So, it'll be exactly the same result, but.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. I think that I've been with prop accounts, and I think you can, until you really have a solid EA, for instance, I've lost a lot of money on prop accounts where EAs have just blown prop account after prop account, and you keep jumping back in. You can spend so much money on them.
So you can. There's a really good strategy that I've used before. I mean, I'm not using it now because Volatility Master's just consistently winning, so it's not a problem. But there's a strategy where you can sort of hedge, like have a prop account and hedge the trades across onto a small live account.
Okay.
So if the prop account takes out a buy order, your little live account will take out a sell order. And so the idea there is that if you were to lose 10% on your prop account and therefore blow it, you would have made enough to purchase the challenge again on your live account.
Oh, that's clever.
It works out that you sort of the prop account will sort of cost you about triple what it would normally, but it's a guaranteed pass eventually,
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And
I would play with it in demo for at least a month, I think, and then decide whether I'm going to go prop or whether I'm going to go live.
yeah, you're best off. And so I sell the EAs as a yearly subscription, although I'm putting the price up in 2 days, like I've been telling people, but I'm also bringing in a 3 monthly subscription as well, which
Yeah, I
will
saw.
work out more expensive long term, but just for, I don't want people to not be able to afford the price increase, so not get involved. So there's going to be a 3 monthly one as well. But my whole idea behind doing the yearly subscription was so that people would use it on demo for a while. But because
Yeah.
what I've found on with other companies doing a monthly subscription is that people wanted to either skip the demo phase or rush it and get into a live one as quickly as they could because they wanted to make enough to cover the next month's subscription. And because they're rushing that process, they, plus the EA was probably shit, but they ended up, losing money. But I think this way, you pay for the year up front, and therefore you got 12 months. So using it on a demo for a month isn't a big issue. You've still got 11 months to use the software. So people will do more demo and learn more before they go live. So a much greater chance that they're going to succeed. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, as good as I like to tell everybody Volatility Master is, there will be at some stage a month where it takes a loss for the whole month, It might not be a huge loss, but, there are losing weeks, winning weeks, losing weeks. Eventually we'll have a whole month that ends up below the starting point or something. And what you find if people are doing a monthly subscription, if they start and they have a losing month and then the next week's not looking real good either, at that point they're going, oh, this doesn't work and I'm going to cancel my subscription and cut my losses, and then you'll the next couple of months might be brilliant. So because they've had a slightly bad start, they give up and they miss out on the good run. So by having the software for a full year, you're most likely going to use it for a full year, even if you just have it on a demo. Even if you have a bad run on a live, go back to a demo, you still might as well run it for the whole year. And that way you'll get a very accurate long-term average that you can expect from the software instead of just giving up from one bad month,
Yeah. And are you constantly tweaking it? I'm guessing you're always working on something.
Too much actually, because I'll sell the software to somebody and then like 2 days later I'll let them know that there's a new version out.
Oh, yeah. Just to yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Bit of an inside joke in the community, that my updates, I think.
I'm going to buy it tonight, so I'll be talking to you, Les. But yeah, thanks for your time. I've got to run now, but I appreciate these Zooms are pretty good. Yeah,
no worries. We'll just sing out because I've got a couple of people that just keep refusing to jump on Zoom with me, and there are the people that are having trouble getting the software running smoothly. I mean, I'd much prefer to jump on Zoom with every single person, even a couple of times with every single person that buys it, and make sure everything's as it should be.
Yeah, understandable.
So don't be shy.
No, I'll ask you. I'll reach out if I need some help. I'm just trying to.
Just before you go.
Yep.
It's worth doing. Like it is a good robot. There's no risk about that. Put your toe in the water.
I'm putting my tongue in the water.
Please do. No regret.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Catch you later.
Nice to meet you, Lee. Good luck with it.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, Leonard, the tall bloke's an old man. He's got to go to bed.
No worries, Baz. Get your beauty sleep.
Yeah.
I hope you're paying your marketing manager some good wages there, Les.
I'll have to start by the sound of that.
Yeah, he's got his toe in the water, this man.
Well, Diane, if you believe in something, balls and all, that's it.
Yeah, go for it.
Right?